The AEDC data really is helpful for us, not only in consolidating what we think we see, the anecdotal information and evidence that we have, it shows us that objectively in a data set. Like many schools, Hilliard State School's population has changed over time. We think that we see that, we think that we know that in terms of what's happening with our families, but being able to see real data coming through in our AEDC school profile and community profile shows us what those trends are over time in our community.
So the AEDC data really does help us reflect on the current trends of our region. It's an evidence-based resource that actually helps us set both our short-term and long-term goals. And the data actually gives us specific geographical areas that have indications of vulnerabilities. So it not only determines what we're doing, but the focus that we give to that community.
Just because we have that AEDC information, we are able to then seek out other services and partnerships so that we can cater to really specific needs of the children in our community. And through all of those networks, it's an opportunity for several stakeholders within the community to come together and actually discuss the AEDC data, to look at those successes and those challenges and the certain suburbs that are really highlighted from that data, and ensure that when we come together and work together, we're discussing those particular needs. The data itself will then be discussed within the group, and we will make sure we're all on the same page when we move forward to either do professional development that then benefits all of the ECECs and all of the early years sector within the Redlands and within the schools. It means we are on the same page when we are talking about transitions or kindy or educating parents or building capabilities within the early years sector itself.
It is a bit daunting at first and overwhelming. I think when you first get it, you're just like, I'm not sure what we're meant to do. Linda and I have had lots of conversations about that. Like, I don't know if we're doing, again, whether we're doing this right. But then when you look at the data and go, well, these are what we did, these are the areas we identified, this is what the data has identified, so we are on the right tracks.
It gives you the confidence that what we're identifying is in fact what is happening out in the community. It backs up that our reflections and professional conversations with, it's there in black and white, identifying those same needs in our children.
And I think it sort of reinforces that we had noticed that there was definitely a decline in the children's physical skills, that they were lacking that core muscle tone, and that obviously then impacts throughout the day. They struggle to sit on the mat for any period of time because they're just not comfortable and they don't have that strength. And identifying those, and I suppose it just sort of reiterates that we were on the right track.
So that certainly enabled us to bounce off each other then and put it all together with Nikki's perspective as a teacher and my perspective as a manager, and blend the two together from the data and from our own reflections and conversation.
And what we'd noticed.
Yeah.
The data definitely does change the way you teach. We probably didn't have as much emphasis on it 13 years ago, but it was still certainly there in the background, connecting and working with students and having that understanding of how that child's brain and body works in your learning environment is so important. I have to be able to manipulate my craft as a teacher to suit the way they learn, but the data definitely has helped me to ensure that I am just varying the pathways for all children in my care. And for me, it's a privilege to work with the youngest generation to equip them to be the best learner they can be.
All children should have the opportunity to thrive. Unfortunately, there are things in children's lives outside of school or before they walk through our doors that we can't control. So the community profile from the AEDC data collection is a really important tool for us so that we can see the trends across our community. I would look at our school's AEDC data to help inform some of the decisions that we make around allocating resources, programs, etc. for our students and families. Individual schools have their own data and ECECs, but having that community profile really talks about and helps us see what we can do working together for our community to make it even stronger.